And remember guys, we have strength training, hypertrophy work, and more metabolic/endurance training. All these have different primary fuel sources that you guys should be focusing on.
Line them up, knock them down. Yeah. They said it was a grind. They said it takes time, yeah I know. I guess they weren't lying. Every time I try to climb, they cut the rope. I fell straight to the bottom, got problems, I don't really wanna talk about them, no. I've been down this road too many times to be afraid. I close my eyes when I walk down it.
What's going on YouTube? You're back with the Prez. We're in the home gym today, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about diet and training. So look guys, when talking about diet and training, I mean how you guys should be fueling and recovering from the type of workout that you're focusing on a given day. Remember guys, we have three main types of training styles, right? We can train in that lower volume rep range, in that 1 to 5 rep range, which is more nervous system activation, right? More strength building. We're really training the nervous system and the neurological adaptations for your body to get stronger at a given weight or given movements. Think planches, think front levers, static holds like that. Think 1 rep max squats, think heavy deadlifts. Workouts or exercises, specifically sets that take low time of detention, right? So if you're doing a 1 rep max, the time of detention is very low, right? If you're doing a front lever hold, a planche, you're not really holding that long. You don't see people holding 30-second planches too often. It's usually static in that lower second rep rate, maybe 10 seconds or so like that, right? So more neurologically demanding exercises train more of the central nervous system and more neurological adaptations. Alright, so think about it guys. When you're training more in that central nervous system and more neurological adaptation movements such as front lever work, planches, 1 rep maxes, or just general strength training, lower volume work. Remember the key thing that I just said there, lower volume. Like I mentioned, if you guys watched the last video when I was training for planche and front levers, right? Specific movements. The movements themselves, the exercises themselves, are not taking that long. I'm going down from a handstand to a tuck planche. The whole movement's taking maybe 5-10 seconds. I'm holding a tuck front lever from a front lever negative for again maybe 3 to 5 seconds. The whole set is taking again maybe 5 to 10 seconds. But in order for your body, like I mentioned in that video, to understand the movement, you have to do a lot of sets. So even though we hit, let's just say 6 to 10 plus sets of each movement is just 1 repetition. Long break periods, so even if you hit 10 sets, you're only doing it 10 total times. If you do an exercise for 3 repetitions for 10 sets, you do it 30 total times. So you're tripling the volume, and still again, that's still considered low volume total amount of work if you're doing only 3 reps a set, right? So remember guys, think movements where the total volume is going to be lower, but the intensity is going to be very great. Singles, 1 rep maxes, front lever holds, static moves like that, very high intensity, very, very long break periods, and again, the time of detention is not so much focused. Alright guys, so what you just saw was me hitting a single rep at 290 pound squat. So today I'm actually training legs and chest as I film this video, but the main purpose of this video is to speak to you guys, and I'm just going to show you clips throughout my training to demonstrate the modalities that I'm talking about. So for instance guys, 290 is my max working weight today. I'm going to be hitting 5 sets of 1 rep. As I talk to you in between these videos, I'm going to be taking breaks and hitting 1 rep every couple of minutes. Long break periods as I film this video. When I get to chest, it's going to be higher volume, working more on that hypertrophy rep range, which we're going to get into next. So remember guys, we have strength training, which is going to be more central nervous system, neurological adaptations, lower volume, total workload, higher intensity, longer break periods. Now the best way that you guys should be fueling for these workouts, remember, you're not doing too much muscle breakdown. Key to muscle breakdown, guys, is you want to have a lot of protein in the diet and you want to be have a sufficient amount of carbs to push you through that repetition and that volume work, right? But now listen, like I said, strength training is lower volume rep ranges. I told you guys, primarily on days when I'm just focusing on more strength, I keep the protein moderate, I have a higher fat day and a lower carb day. Remember, I'm not going to be burning through a lot of glycogen, so I'm not going to be going through many repetitions. And you guys know, I have a chest and leg day and shoulder and back, right? So on one chest and leg day, I have more chest-focused strength work, where I train chest first, and then the next chest and leg day, I do more leg-focused strength work, where I focus on legs first and then get to chest later. So the brute work today is going through strength training for legs. That's how I'm fueling for this workout. That's how I'm going to recover from this workout, because that's where the most effort that I'm putting into today is on these single rep 290-pound squats. So 5 sets of this work. And again, like I said, when training for strength, lower volume rep ranges, more neurological adaptations, it's not a need to carb up. There's no need to have an excessive amount of protein either. You want to keep your protein moderate, carbs moderate, and on those days I like to increase the fats because I'm not really burning off any carb sources or glycogen. Again, it's more neurological adaptations, and fat is very good for the brain, so fat is very good for the cells and good for neurological adaptation type training. So a little higher fats on days like this. And then guys, from here we're going to start talking and teaching you guys about hypertrophy work as well, and how you guys should be eating for that. And remember guys, we have strength training, hypertrophy work, and more metabolic / endurance training. All these have different primary fuel sources that you guys should be focusing on when you're focused for that, depending on the focus of that session. So let's get right into hypertrophy style training. Remember, hypertrophy style training means typically training in about a 6 to 15, up to 6 to 20 rep range, depending on the intensity that you're using. Remember, intensity refers to load and how advanced you are in the given movement. So hypertrophy primarily means muscle building. So the time under tension with hypertrophy style work, like I've mentioned in the past, is going to be greater. That's the main focus of hypertrophy work. You really don't even have to really count reps. What really matters now is time under tension, keeping that muscle stressed as long as possible. Typically, you want sets to last from 30 to 60, up to 90 seconds, again, depending on how advanced you are in the given exercise and how much effort you can produce. So, hypertrophy style rep ranges are going to really stress now the muscular system, right? Remember, strength training is going to stress more of the nervous system, make more neurological adaptations, more central nervous system activation. Now when you get more to this hypertrophy work, remember, you're working with lesser intensities compared to strength, more in that 75, maybe up to 85% rep range on the high end, as low as 65% intensity. And again, you're keeping the volume higher, the break period shorter. You're getting more muscular demand on the nervous system. So what that's going to mean is you're going to need to fuel differently than you would when focusing on strength. So when you're really stressing the muscular system now, you definitely want to keep protein high in the diet, fats more moderate, and a slightly higher carbohydrate intake due to the fact that you're going to be breaking down more glycogen due to the higher rep range, higher volume, and amount of work that you're doing. Doesn't have to mean you have to carb up excessively. You don't have to have very high carbs, but higher carbs than you would need when doing strength training, right? More fats on strength training days, more carbohydrates on hypertrophy days, and you slightly higher protein elevation. And that's where you can make up for it, guys. When you lower fat, remember fat is worth 9 calories per gram. Protein and carbs are only worth 4. So when you lower fat, you can make up for it with protein and carbohydrates very efficiently. So hypertrophy style rep ranges, again, guys, that's when you're going to see me doing more weighted dips, which you're going to see when I hit after the leg session today, and you're going to have some clips in that, and you'll see some clips of my doing the dips as well. So the primary focus today for me is strength legs. That means when I get to my hypertrophy sets for chest, it's only going to be 2 or 3 max sets just to keep the movement fresh and just to get some load and effort in the chest work. But I'm not fueling for hypertrophy work because I'm only doing one main movement for chest today. So the overall volume is still going to be relatively low. The intensity will be slightly higher, probably around 80% as opposed to 65-70%. But again, I'm moderating the intensity and the volume. If I was doing more sets for chest, the intensity would go down. So remember guys, hypertrophy style training, typically you're resting around 2 up to 3 minutes tops to allow you to get those 6 to 15 or whatever rep range you're working at with perfect form. Hypertrophy style training, guys, like I said, you're really focusing on stressing the muscular system. So you want to work the muscles that are actually supposed to be working for the given movement. Avoid the kipping, avoid the excess momentum when doing training like this, because that's going to decrease from the muscular system that you're trying to work. So again, guys, you got strength training, we got hypertrophy training, and next we have more endurance or metabolic training, which is going to be a lot higher volume. And again, that is going to require a different type of fuel source as well. So let's get into that. All right, so all the leg work is done. Now again, the chest work, like I said, very minimal chest work today. 3 sets, 70-pound dips, higher rep range, more hypertrophy style training. Let's go. Alright, so we covered strength training, we covered hypertrophy style training and how you guys should be fueling for those type of workouts, and what's left we have now more endurance / metabolic work. Now let me give you an example of a metabolic type exercise or endurance type training that you guys would see me do. The 5-minute drills, when we're trying to bang out 50 pulls and 100 push-ups as fast as possible, right? The barbarian requirements, when I'm trying to hit 5 muscle-ups, 50 dips, 30 pulls, 60 push-ups, 5 muscle-ups in under 5 minutes, right? You're trying to condense a lot of work into a short amount of time. The break periods are very short, the volume is very high. Intensity, meaning load, is definitely way lower because you won't be able to complete those type of workouts when the intensity is too high. There's no way you can hit that high number with short break periods when doing 5-minute drills or doing barbarian requirements, right? That's why you see people doing them body weight only in the given amount of time. If they do them weighted, they increase the time that you'll see them to take done. Those are more metabolically demanding exercises. Those are going to require a lot of glycogen breakdown. You're really working that ATP, the anaerobic glycolysis, the glycolytic pathways. Glycolytic pathways, guys, think you're going to be burning through a lot of glycogen. So when you see me or other people hitting the 50 pulls, 100 push-ups in 5 minutes or less, condensing all those repetitions into a short amount of time, that's going to be very, very glycogen demanding, meaning you're going to be burning through a lot of carbohydrate stores in your body. So what does that mean? Typically workouts like that, those are the type of routines where you guys want to have a lot of carbs in the system. You want to carb up pre-workout and you want to replenish the glycogen post-workout with a higher carb meal. Fats are definitely supposed to be lower on days like today. Protein, again, stays moderate. Again, guys, protein should always be around, in my opinion, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight minimum, especially if you guys are trying to build muscle. Now, if you guys are in a surplus of calories, the protein, again, is your body will not pull from protein stores if it has excess calories from carb and fat available, right? So you don't ever have to worry about your muscles being taken from energy when you're in a surplus of calories. But when you're in a deficit, guys, muscle is the most demanding and taxing for the body. So if you're in a deficit and you're eating less calories than you're burning, the first thing your body's going to want to pull from is that protein stores. That's why you want to keep protein higher when you're in a cut regardless. But that's pretty much, we're talking apples and oranges now compared to this video. That was just a little tip for you guys. So remember, when you're doing more endurance type training, metabolic work like that, that's when you want to keep the carbohydrates very high. So for instance, another type of routine where you want to keep carbohydrates high, say I'm doing around the world, like pyramid style, where I'm doing, let's just say I'm doing 10 down, pulls, push, dips, squats. I'm going 10, 10, 10, 10, 9, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7, all the way down to 1. The goal of pyramid style training, guys, remember, you want to hit all the rounds as fast as possible. Low break periods, the volume of work is very high, and the intensity, meaning the load, is generally lower because you're putting in all that work in a short amount of time. So again, for those type of exercises, you definitely want to have more carbohydrates in the system. So remember, guys, we got strength training modalities, which are going to primarily focus on training the nervous system, more neurological adaptations. Think lower volume total sets, meaning each set is going to be a lower volume as opposed to a hypertrophy rep range, or endurance work. Remember, you're only working in that 1 to 5 rep range for strength, so the neurological adaptations are very high and demanding. Learning front lever, skills like that. Again, more central nervous system adaptation, not so much of a need for carbohydrates or to have a high protein intake that day. You guys can focus on higher fats that day because again, you're training more the neurological system, and fats are very good for the brain and teaching the brain the movement. Hypertrophy style days, that's when you want to have slightly higher carbs, slightly lower fats, keeping the protein moderate again. And then when you have more endurance work / glycolytic type activity, that's when you really want to work on increasing the carbohydrates for the day, having more carbs pre and post workout. And that's how you can teach your body to utilize these nutrients the most effectively, right? So when you do a demanding workout, when you're hitting a 5-minute drill, 50 pulls, 100 pushes, and you feed your body the carbohydrates, your body now knows, okay, I have a lot of carbs in my body for a type of workout like this. I'm going to be very efficient at utilizing these carbs. Then when you go to a higher fat day and you're doing very neurologically demanding work, your body now learns, okay, I can run off fat for this type of workout. Once your body learns to manipulate and utilize the calories more efficiently, that's when your body's going to start making the progress that you want. That's when you're going to start seeing physique changes. That's where everything happens, right? Learning to manipulate the body's energy system and how it utilizes energy, meaning food for energy, it should be everyone's goal, right? Not every workout is the same, so you don't have to eat the same for every type of workout. I hope this gave you guys a little insight of diet and training and how you guys should be eating and fueling to get into your workouts and how you guys should be eating and fueling to recover from your workouts. So we hit the 5 sets of squats. I'll throw a few of the dip clips in throughout this video which we would have saw. And again, the main work today was the 5 sets of heavy singles of squats. Last day when I trained chest and legs together, I focused on heavy weighted dips, working at that 120-pound dips, hitting sets of 3, 5 sets of 3. And on that day, I only hit 2 sets of squats, higher volume, 255 for 12 reps on box squats, right? So now today, strength focus for legs, and I'll hit 2 to 3 sets. Like I said, I would have showed you 2 to 3 sets of my dip work throughout this video as well. So hypertrophy style work for chest, not much volume. Most focus today was on legs, and that's how you guys could focus on fueling for the workouts and the given workouts that you guys are going into. So, hope this gave you guys a little insight. If you have a question, leave it in the comment section. I will get back to you. Like the video. It really helps the algorithms out, guys. Share the videos. Come on, let's make this channel grow. And I'm going to keep bringing you guys quality content. You guys say you like the nutrition and the diet training videos. I'm going to give you more and more of them. Like always, guys, I appreciate you. Peace out. Barnaturals.
I die, I'm top 3. For I die, I'm top 3. For I die, look.